Hello, students. Welcome to Metacognitive Learning. Let's learn together. Properties about metals and non-metals. I have already uploaded a video which talks about the physical properties of metals and non-metals. So we generally know metals are basically ductile, metals are malleable, metals are hard, they have high boiling point, melting point, all these kinds of physical properties we have seen. And similarly, non-metals are exactly opposite. So they have low melting point, boiling point. They are not ductile, not malleable, they are not hard, and usually they will be more liquid or gases in nature, but in both the categories, right, they have some exceptions. Okay, so that is what exactly we are going to discuss in this video. And there are more chances these kinds of questions will be asked specifically to test about your exceptions in 1 mark questions. Okay, so metals are generally hard in nature, and they are exhibit mostly in solid state, right? So that is one thing, like metals of sodium and potassium, they are basically very soft metals. Out of all the other metals, sodium and potassium are the soft metals which you can able to cut with your knife. And again, mercury is an exception from the metal, whereas all the other metals are solid state. Mercury is the only metal that exists in liquid state at room temperature. Metals generally have very high density, but lithium is an exception. It is an alkali metal, and it is having a very low density of 0.53. And metals like gold, silver, platinum, and carbon, they do not release hydrogen gas when reacting with acids. So we all know that metals plus acid gives salt and hydrogen, and these metals do not uh, release hydrogen gas when they are reacting with solid. And all metals are sonorous in nature, right? As I told, mercury is an exception because mercury is liquid in nature, so it is not a hard metal. So it does not produce any sound when it is stuck on a hard surface. All metals are malleable, again, except mercury, because mercury is in liquid state, so you cannot convert them into thin sheets or something. And the metals are solid substances, so generally they are insoluble in water. But sodium and potassium are the metal that react more violently and form metal hydroxide. So this is basically how metals react with water, right? So metals generally react with water and form metal oxides or metal hydroxide. And sodium and potassium, being highly reactive metal, when they react with water, right, it will be very violent and it will form hydroxides. And unlike other non-metals, right, so non-metals generally they do not are luster in nature. All metals are luster in nature, but here graphite and iodine are basically having lustrous in nature. It will be shining even though they are non-metals. Again, carbon, even though it is a non-metal, it has a highest boiling point in the state of diamond, because one of the important property of carbon is carbon has the capability to undergo allotrophism. So carbon is available in multiple formats like graphite, diamond, charcoal. So each of them, even though they are made up of carbon, they are completely of different properties. So carbon being a non-metal, it has a high melting point in case of diamond. And the bromine is found in liquid state, and that is the only a non-metal which is available in liquid state. Iodine is again a non-metal with a very high density because of its composition, etc., right? They are having a very strong metal. And diamond is one of the hardest metal that we know, although it is made up of non-metal carbon. Okay, so these are some of the metals and non-metals, the exceptional cases. Even though all the other things follow certain properties, these metals and non-metals does not obey these properties. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please do share, subscribe, and forward this video to your friends. Thank you.